Get in! Get in there! Leicester have done it. Oh, it's been an unbelievable performance. Alex has just joined. Let me just get Alex in. Oh, he's gone. He's come back. He's gone. Alex, what are you saying, man?
What a performance. Nail biter to the end, but man, they put up a solid performance, and I don't know, those 3 points are just like chef kiss worthy. Like they are just fabulous.
It's so good. I got another special guest who's not been on in a while. Dan's here all the way from America as well. Dan, oh mate, we've got to talk about that. What are your initial thoughts on the game? I am just all over the place, just with absolute excitement at the moment. That was unbelievable performance.
Honestly, I'm just full of adrenaline right now. I mean, I felt like we were hanging on for dear life, honestly. And, Liverpool will probably go away, and somewhat rightfully so, thinking they're a bit hard done by, like they had chances, and through their own fault, they probably missed out on a point, maybe 3, because of Salah's penalty was not very good. But, and after that save, the game just pivoted. Like it went Leicester's way after that save.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And then just one more person again. Everybody's flying in this one. Austin's here as well. Austin, give us your take, mate, because I've got to calm down a little bit. I've not stopped sweating. I'm still sweating at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I mean, I went in here saying if we lose by 2 or 3, I'd be okay. I mean, that performance was one of the best performances I've seen in the last couple of years. It was absolutely incredible.
It was unbelievable. Again, Ethan, you're right. Again, heart rate, I'm still going, mate. It's unbelievable. I've still got, as Dan was saying, still the adrenaline. Alex, I think we'll just have to start. I mean, that was a strong lineup we first did. What a strong lineup. And the way that we went about playing that 4-4-2 diamond, I felt confident going into the match. Didn't think we could win it still, but thought we were confident. Let's just talk about it in terms of that back line. It's makeshift. Everybody knows it's makeshift. However, they fought for every single thing, and it's what we've been calling for just 2 days earlier with Man City. It was all there today. It was phenomenal. Luke Thomas, Amati, Castagna, Ndidi, just an unbelievable performance from all of them.
Yeah, that back line's basically a Frankenstein of a back line. You're just trying to find bits and pieces and just slotting them together to make that back line. I do want to say that I think it's absolutely hilarious that Vestergaard still can't crack the starting lineup, even as an actual.
Not now, anyway.
Oh, not even close. Well. It's hilarious, but you got to give the guys credit because they absolutely stood their ground the entire 90 minutes. What a performance by that back line, especially when you look at who we had in that back line. I don't think any one of us had those 4 players as a back line, at the end of 2021 currently. So what a performance that they were able to bring during during this game.
It was unbelievable. Dan, again, the back line, is there anyone you want to point out in particular? Because as a unit, I think they were solid, but you can literally pick any of them because they were all magnificent today.
Right. If I were to pick anybody, I think the fullbacks in particular, like heading balls that went to the back posts, like Thomas and Castagna were all about it. Thomas, I felt, was close to having a man of the match performance himself, but, Dewsbury Hall, can't take it away from him. But as far as the defense goes, yeah, I was really impressed with the fullbacks. Nobody was really switching off, and aside from Ndidi, being a little overzealous a couple of times, just a solid performance from the back line. You can't fault it.
Yeah, they were unbelievable again. Austin, is there anybody because again, as Dan was saying, he definitely was a mistake for the first one. But what was really impressive, I'll go to Mate first. I know we call him again. Somebody's putting the Ghanaian excellence. I'd love to see that as well. Just fantastic there. But he was headering every single ball out of the box. When the ball was in, at no point did he stop and go, right, this is it now. He's going to try and fight for everything. And when the ball was coming through and Salah was there and Keita was in good positions, Mane was in good positions, you just found him in this pocket of space going, no, I'm not going to deny you space and just take that away because, it was just phenomenal today.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from that back line, but just in terms of the whole team defensively, especially at the end, Arlo White was talking about it over here. It's like we were just helping each other. I don't know where this energy came from, but I mean, I'm sure they were all tired, but just the way that we had multiple people on a Liverpool player at once, like you just never felt really that a Liverpool player had a ton of space really at the end of the game.
Yeah, they were relentless again, Alex, because Brendan, again, we've got to give praise to Brendan. We'll get onto corners because I about had a nervous breakdown just because we actually defended them. It was unbelievable. But in terms of the way that we performed, just over, what do you think changed? Because bearing in mind, it's 2 days apart. Liverpool had every single right to go and win that game, and everything was in their favour. But we've managed to turn it around the typical Leicester way. What do you think? What do you think a couple of them things were?
Geez, I have no idea. I really don't. This season, with this squad, it just seems like you can't really you don't know what you're going to expect. We watched this Liverpool matchup against them last week where we thought we were going to come out with a win and we ended up losing, and then we just got manhandled by Man City. But that game just turned into a goal fest, and then we come into today, and I already know I'm not the only one that expected us to put in a solid performance, but probably lose, and then still come out with a victory and blanking Liverpool. It's like I don't know. Like I simply don't know, because I don't know what Brendan would say in this type of situation. Does he go in and say, well, we lost to these guys last week, we should have won that game, let's beat them?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he could have said that when we played Man City, being like, we should have won last game, let's win today, even though we're probably not gonna. So I don't know, it just seemed like this is the most random season, and dealing with what to expect with Leicester, because there's games that you expect them to win that they don't, and there's games that you don't expect them to win that they actually they blow it away and they have an incredible performance. And I think that's just one of those games today. You expect maybe a good performance, but you don't expect the victory, and you come out with 3 points. So I don't know what Rodgers said. I really don't.
It was just an unbelievable, again, for the managers, just deserves so much respect in terms of Dan. There's a lot of questions. I think a lot of questions, majority of fans still behind the manager, but you could see the same things were occurring again and again. However, everything just clicked today. I mean, again, set pieces. We were not bad. We were decent for some of the set pieces. I say that with like an asterisk going, it could go back, but we got it right. 2 people on the post, whatever they did in training in 2 days they've managed to figure it out, and it's just working. It's just such a good place to be that we're defending set pieces decently.
Right, and the 2 people on the post thing I noticed tonight, and I'm not sure why that's not more of a basic thing. And usually there's always a guy on the near post or one of the posts, but you would think that given the struggles that we've had this year and the stat that dropped before the game where we gave up the most set piece goals and Liverpool scored the most set piece goals, we were all kind of living in terror at these set piece goals. But yeah, we looked stout, and you got maybe the best header of the ball in the league with the best leap in Van Dijk. It's potential nightmare fuel for Leicester fans who've watched this team just cough up set piece goals all year. But I mean, they marked well. I think they shrunk the number of guys doing the zonal marking so that they could put guys on the post, which I think was smart, because it was, a couple of the times where it got really close to coughing one up on a set piece, those guys on the post kind of came in handy. But I think we were just much more organized in our set piece defending, and maybe actually facing the ball up a couple of times as opposed to just facing your defender up and trying to get in his way like we were against Man City.
Yeah. No, we just managed. Again, it just clicked. It's just these little things that we were working on, Austin. And again, I'm going to keep talking about set pieces because it's something that we've struggled with for such a long time. It's in a pain in our backsides for the longest of times, and it's all finally just decided to click now. And there was just it just seems like everything, all these little changes or something they've made, because there have been so many criticisms, and from journalism as well. Journalists have come out and criticized it as well. They finally got it right, and it just seems like everything is working now. Again, it could go back, but we've got something. We've got a foundation that we can really build from and hopefully take it even better.
Yeah, and I think we were just marking people. We weren't doing zonal anymore, which is the happiest day of my life. like cannot stand zonal marking. But I think also the big thing about today is that they have confidence in defending set pieces. I mean, we went so long where every corner we were nervous about, and today somehow at the end I was actually confident in us defending a set piece, which I never thought I would say.
I'm going to try and find the statistics, but I totally agree, man. I think in terms of the number of corners, if I just bring it up quickly, I'll try and bring it up on screen. They had 12 corners, Alex. 12, and I think about 11 of them were in the last minute because it was relentless. But they kept going, and it was so, I was sweating. I'm still sweating buckets from watching that. But towards the end, even though I was thinking, I really hope they don't tire, but I can totally understand why they would tire after Man City ran them ragged with the strong team that they've got. Even at the end, there was high fives. I was celebrating every time they cleared the ball. They put their body on the line, and it's something we've not seen for a long time.
Yeah, it seems like we've been talking about all these issues for forever, and now you see a performance like they had today, and it feels like I said, it's like, where has this team been? Because when they play like this, I really do think that they are one of the best clubs in the league, and if they could keep this run of form the way that they play in a match like today against Liverpool, I think that they could be in any club in the entire Premier League. So if this is what they had to do to figure it all out, then that's a great positive, because I really do think that if they keep performing like this, we're laughing. But but that's the thing, we don't know what we're going to expect. Hopefully this is the official building block for this, for this squad to really just take off for the second part of the season.
Yeah, no, hopefully if we can, because what a way to end 2021 with a performance like this. It's just came out of absolutely nowhere. And one player I want to touch on who had an absolutely fun, I've put him down for potential man of the match, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, Dan. What a performance. We knew he's been kind of a steady Eddie for a while, but today when he was called upon, especially in that second half, defending really well, getting up that left wing, helping Lookman out, setting the assist for the goal, and he was everywhere. But he's playing like he's been in the league as long as Yuri Tillemans, and he's just performing at an unbelievable level. In this game, I couldn't fault him because he was everywhere, but also the class that oozed out of him, his ability to get the ball and play it and out of nowhere and create opportunities for people. And he nearly got that ball through to Jota, to Vardy, I think, about before we scored the goal. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was, and he was bringing so much intensity to his game too. The work rate was off the charts, I felt, the whole game, which is unbelievable for a guy who just did 90 minutes at the Etihad, 48 hours ago, or 2 days ago. And for him to come out and just work his socks off like he did was super impressive. And then to help in the second half, I especially was impressed with him going forward, because he was breaking lines like crazy. And just, Liverpool were pushing forward a bit more, so he was able to, find more gaps when we got possession and help us get forward with the ball. Like you say with the assist, I mean, and the near assist moments before that when he curled in that ball from the left wing, I mean, he looked incredibly impressive. And I think his energy and Chowdhury's energy really kind of spurred the whole performance on from the midfield.
Yeah, I think, again, we're going to have to touch on him a little bit more, Austin, but what are your thoughts on him? Because I think he's just, considering it's his first Premier League, and he's not really been featuring that much, let's be honest, for the majority of the season. He's coming in a game where, again, we didn't have a left winger, but he took that left wing position against Trent, but also he was tracking back and taking on the central midfielders and attackers as well. Phenomenal performance.
Yeah, and I think that was our biggest worry, seeing the formation being so narrow. We knew that he would have to cover Trent, and really worried about Trent. And the way that not only he covered Trent, but then attacked forward was just incredible. Like Dan said, breaking lines, passing the ball everywhere was just incredible. And I think I now know what Luton Town fans saw all last season. I mean that was just an incredible performance. One of the best performances I've seen from a midfield in a long time.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. Is there anybody you want to bring it on to, Alex? Because again, we could literally go through the entire team and the entire subs bench because they all came on, all did know what they wanted, what they needed to do to win that game, and it's just fantastic.
Well, first thing I want to say about KDH is that, I mentioned, I think at the start of the season when we were breaking down all the players and who we thought was going to have that breakout standout year, I said KDH. And man, I'm so glad I'm right because, I think we've all he hasn't featured a lot so far, but for him to come in, and play against, one of the top clubs like against Liverpool and deliver that kind of a performance is just absolutely jaw dropping. But another player I want to really just shout out to is Lookman. I really think that, just fabulous. That 1-2 punch with him and KDH was just absolutely lethal. And I don't know if I might be skeptical in the sense of being too excited with the fact that I really think that Leicester should look at signing him on a permanent, permanently. Because for me personally, I really think that he is, someone that the club could really build around and, get those pieces in. He's one of those pieces that could really work. And maybe I'm a bit, a bit ahead of the curve on that one, but I guess we'll find out. But I definitely think that he would be a great asset to have, within the squad for, a permanent placement.
Yeah, and considering he got the winner today, I think what was brilliant about his goal, we'll come on to Lookman now, but the fact that he took his position and he wasn't just getting that position as well. He was determined to get into that position, get away from his man, and then put the ball away so smoothly at the near post, Dan, because I just thought he was fantastic as well today. When he came on, he knew what he was doing. Again, he scored again. That's 2-2 for him now. He scored against Man City as well. He's not featured that much, but again, he's come off. He knows what he wants to do, and he's fighting for it. And he at times, what I love, we've not had a player that can take the ball and not necessarily travel with it, but just 1-2 touch and try and take it past the player. And the fact that we had that in him was fantastic. I think he only came on in the double substitution, but again, fantastic play.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. When I saw the substitution, I was thinking, "Oh, Brendan, what are you doing? Your system is working for you right now. You're going to change it up." And I had visions of the Man City game in my head, but it was kind of a masterstroke because he was kind of in behind Trent Alexander-Arnold pretty much since he came on. And as far as his goal goes, he took it so well, and to have the strength and the work rate to get forward, and then the strength when he took the ball to kind of shrug off a couple of, body challenges and still get the shot away powerfully enough to beat Allison in his near post. I mean, it was great. I mean, just what you're missing from your wing players, obviously Harvey can bring that certainly when he's in the team, but we don't want all of that wing production to come from one man. The more we can get, the better. And then after we had the lead, he was very pragmatic when he got the ball down that left wing. He was not giving it up easily. He was taking it to the sideline, making Liverpool players commit to him. He wasn't doing anything silly with the ball. It was a great performance for a sub off the bench from him today.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. And over to you, Austin. Again, in terms of Lookman or another player that came off the bench and did again as a winger, Mark Albrighton, because I think a seriously when he comes off, he's not played that much. I think he should have deserved more game time, but obviously he placed Maddison, and Maddison's a big miss for us, but he did his job. He came on. He knew what he needs to do. He's playing some brilliant football, and we all rate him, but we all know how amazing and again, he came on, he did the job, and he saw out the game brilliantly, kind of pushing back into the 5-4-1 position. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough of him.
Yeah, and I thought him coming on was actually going to help us and take it off Maddison because it made so that way we had two guys on the wing that can cover the fullbacks and help those midfield and defense kind of narrow up. So that's what I thought was huge. And I mean, when Albrighton plays, I know sometimes we'll give him stick that he doesn't do a lot, but he 7 out of 10 times will do a job for you. I mean, if we need to put a guy anywhere, it's usually Albrighton. We can put him anywhere, he's going to give us a decent performance. But another thing on Lookman, and I remember seeing a stat when we got him, because we were worried about the right wing, and we got him. His stats on the left wing for Fulham were incredible compared to the right wing. And then seeing him on the left, it's like what are we going to do with Harvey Barnes now? Because, I mean, Lookman was so good today on that left, and I don't see a reason to take him out of there.
Yeah, sorry, I was just modding Ant because he's having a moan in the comment section. Fine, you're sorted now, mate. But yeah, in terms of them, yeah, fantastic. Again, another player I have to shout out for the penalty save and all that kind of other stuff is Schmeichel. I mean, fantastic performance once again. There's been questions about his distribution, and again, it wasn't perfect today. It still was room for improvement, but as a shot stopper, as a penalty saver, because not going to lie to you, I think if this goes 1-0 down and Salah puts that penalty away, we're seeing a very different performance. So it's unbelievable. I think just Schmeichel today, we've criticised him in the past. He's not been that great at distribution, and we've criticised him for not coming off his line and things. But today we have to give him credit.
No, absolutely. And I don't know about you, but when I watched Salah set up for that penalty kick, I was like, here we go. I don't know why, but so the fact that Schmeichel was able to save it, and then that for them to be able to clear it was massive. Shout out to Salah for having an absolute horrible game as well, because that saved our butts as well. So, but no, Schmeichel. I think Schmeichel was just absolutely on today, and that's like seeing Schmeichel. What we've that's the Schmeichel that we normally praise and just preach about, basically. I think he's just been dealing with a really, really tough and rough run of form of late, and hopefully that he can dig out of that with everybody else that's been in this brutal form in the first half of the season. So if Schmeichel can really continue to put those performances together, then like I said, we could be one deadly squad moving into that second half.
We really can. And it's just, again, that's the performance of a proper captain. There's been people looking to take him out of the team, to get rid of the captain armband, Dan, but today he deserved that captain armband, and he led from the back. I think there was a few other players that really stepped up, like, again, Daniel Lamar, who mentioned earlier, who actually had like a captain's performance as well. But in front of him, Schmeichel did what he needed to do in front of that net and stopped anything coming close to live from in front of goal.
Yeah. I think, his saves, especially, I don't know who it dropped to on the left side of his goal. That, I mean, he kind of just flung an arm out there and sent it over the top of the crossbar. It was pure reaction, which is some of the stuff that he's the best at, or one of the best in the world, I feel, at, is just these reaction saves and spreading his body and keeping people out. We can still criticize his distribution. He still manages to kick it out when it's really frustrating. But he came up today when we needed him, and everybody was a bit down on the team after Man City, and to come back and put in a performance like that, like you say, leading from the back, like when you make that penalty save, the whole team just feels like there's a shot of adrenaline through the team. Everybody responds to that. It lifts the stadium and lifts the players. And I got to say, he must have known, like, done his homework on Salah and which way he was going, because he was diving that way early when he kicked that penalty. So I mean, he had his homework done on Salah, and that great performance from, like you said.
Yeah, but yeah, fantastic performance. Another player again, because I'd have to go through the entire team. The little Luke Thomas at left back. I mean, against Salah of all people. And you're thinking, I remember him in his performance, I think against Newcastle, where they won 4-0, and he was going, "Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this." I'll hand over to you because, right? Yeah, he's emptying out of his pockets, Alex, because I thought he was unbelievable. Trying again, he was the defending he was doing, going forward, taking the ball, and he's ice cold as well when he's getting the ball. He's just so phenomenal to watch.
What's with Luke Thomas playing absolutely exceptional against these top six clubs? Because I still remember the time that he played against Chelsea in the FA Cup final, and just was like absolutely superb. So when he plays like this, and like I said, I keep having to remind myself of how old he actually is, because I think that's the one thing that blows my mind. Some of the things that Thomas does, makes me think that he's in his mid-20s, like he's been doing this for 5 years within the league, and then you actually see what his actual age is, and it's just absolutely mind blown. But what a performance. I don't really need to pick it apart because what he did was just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and you're totally right, and that's the thing at the moment with in terms of the way that we're working. It's just working, and again, one player you mentioned, Dan, we mentioned kind of the both of them at the moment. I've just seen who's joined in as well. Of course, he's coming in. In terms of Timothy Castagna, I think fantastic performance as well.
Yeah. I mean, again, he's like Dewsbury Hall, and then he's bringing all this energy to the game. Yeah. I love it.
Shout out to you, Lewis. Big up.
But yeah, and like I said before, him and Thomas did very dogged and marking probably two of the best in the league as far as wingers go, or inverted forwards, whatever you want to call them. They were all over those guys, and Mane and Salah were very frustrated all game. You could just tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But again, they didn't have the best performances. However, that's not the channel for this. Go over to where there's 1,000 other Liverpool channels you can tune into. We're going to talk about our season. And again, another Liverpool channel, to segue into that, is Doug. So again, thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Because, yeah, I know I actually said to him at the end, about 3 o'clock today, I said, anything can happen. Anything can happen with this match. Thank God I was turned right, because otherwise I look like a right idiot if we would lost 17-0, which kind of was likely. But we're looking at things very differently now. Obviously, Austin just coming back to this performance. Wilfred Ndidi, I think, obviously had a really bad start as well, but led the line really, really well, in my opinion, at the end of the game, where he's taken that performance, and again he had a really shaky start. I think this penalty save spurred the whole team. Like, right, we kick up into gear. We can finally go and play. And there was some bad performances, not going to lie, in terms of balls were coming out. We're like, we have to do better with this. Second half, they kind of tightened up a lot. However, we have to give credit to Wilfred Ndidi. It's not his position. He doesn't normally play in that position. Daniel Amati doesn't play in the back two, but them two were solid as well as the fullbacks, as Dan was saying.
Yeah, I mean, them two working out together and just kind of being all over the place at times. Like if you saw something happen, we had Ndidi or Marty there. It just seemed the whole game that we just had someone there. And the way that Ndidi came back, like we said, if that penalty goes in, Ndidi's confidence could be shot, the whole team's confidence shot, and who knows what happens. But after he realized that he had a mistake and it didn't cost him, I think it just built him back up. And I mean, it was shaky at times passing around the back, but definitely by the second half, I thought we'd pass the ball really, really well out of the back.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just coming on to that, Alex, I think Brendan Rodgers got his tactics spot on. Kind of like similar to kind of the performance against Man City, where we would sit in a little bit more, probably give the team too much respect. I think we did before the penalty. We did give Liverpool too much respect once again. But then in the second half, we changed tactics. We were playing slightly more aggressive. We took our opportunities to play the ball forward, and it was really, really working our favour.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say that Rodgers got it perfect today, and rightly so. I think what you said was perfect. I feel like even in the second half of the Man City game, they kind of turned it around, and they were able to capitalize in some chances that normally they wouldn't be able to in that first half. So the way that they really, the way that it came out today wasn't the best, but after the penalty, it really seemed like Rodgers readjusted his strategy, and we can just look at the scoreline and the performance that was dished out across the board. It was just fantastic. I think this is where you can definitely say that, when Rodgers is on and, his tactical side is working, then he's a genius. And today is just one of those examples.
Yeah, and again, it's not worked in the past, but with the current injury situation and the players we've got, and the other player that I have to shout out, I'm surprised I haven't managed to shout Hamza Chowdhury. I genuinely think people mentioned him earlier as well. I think he had a really, again, he was losing out at possessions at the time, but for considering how much he's played with the opposition that he's playing, the CD in the middle of at the bottom of the diamond, defending it, I think fantastically, tracking back. I think he was fantastic today, Dan. And I've said that about everybody, but I have to shout about Chowdhury because I'm biased.
And rightfully so. I mean, Leicester lad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, one of Rodgers' masterstrokes I thought was, and I was questioning it at the beginning, thinking like Chowdhury's very defensive and maybe Samari's a bit of a better passer. So I don't know why Samari wasn't on the right initially, but having Chowdhury out there was a masterstroke because he's got more legs, more energy, more work rate than Samari. It seems like Samari kind of lilts around the pitch a little bit. He's not really sprinting everywhere to close down his man. But Chowdhury and KDH out there on the edges of the diamond were really helpful to the fullbacks early on in the game. Like throughout the first half, they just worked their socks off. And like you say, the possession might have been a bit tough for him and Samari. Some of them passes early on in the game went awry, but the work rate, the closing down, the making it difficult for the Liverpool players to settle, he that's exactly what you want from him. That he's the perfect guy to have in the team, and he worked his socks off for us today. And God bless him, man.
Yeah, he's just so good. And again, we've gone from playing 0 CDMs to playing 3 in a game, and that's just the mental business of Leicester City in 2 days. He gives us that, I think, the determination, his willingness to try and win back, and something that I've all appreciated. We know he's not as going to get ahead of Wilf. However, he still does a job, and I was kind of disappointed when he came off. But again, Tillemans came on, and I think he just cleaned up. But was there any point, Austin, for you that really summed up the performance? Because for me, there was quite a few in this game. There was because for me, it was the defending and the attack. We know we're good going forward. Defensively, we've looked, again, it looked like it was a Wild West at times. It was like, anyway, it's for every for themselves. But was there any moment for you that really stood out?
I mean, not really to me. I just think the whole performance was just a standout thing. I mean, especially those last 5 minutes or 10 minutes where we're just flying around desperate, always trying to get a tackle. I think that energy after playing a game, I think Arlo said it was 51 hours before. Liverpool hasn't played in a week. They have their first team. We have a first team out with injuries. Just the way that they fought in the last 10 minutes, I think, summed up their performance. And I thought it was a very weird, chattery game because normally we're used to him decking a few people, and he played a normal CDM game, so I don't know what's really going on there.
Yeah, he did, but at the same time, it's just one of those. Alex, I think I've exhausted myself, but there's some more points. It was just, again, as Austin was saying, it was the whole performance. It was, I've got purpose, passion, desire, putting your bodies on the line for the team, and it's the basics that we were doing plus some, which we've been asking for a while, but the basics have been completed and then some. And it just seems like everybody, if you watched at the end, everybody was it felt like everybody was together and they were all playing for each other.
It really did seem like the squad was united. They were determined. It was an all-round team performance, and that's something that we really haven't been able to say in a lot of matches this season. There's been matches where we've seen, certain players give it their all, but not all of them. And there's always been that crack here and there that has really showcased as to why we've lost a match. But, you look at a performance like today, and, you said it perfectly. You had, players diving left, right, and center to do whatever they could, to stop that play. And, the defending and the grit and the determination and just the work, the workforce that they were, working with. Every single aspect of the performance as a team, made this one incredible match, for, to witness. And I think, if we sit here and we decided to pick apart every single minute, there was probably positives within every minute of this match, and that's saying something. So, I think it was an all-around, perfect team performance that allowed us to secure those 3 points.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Dan, over to you, because again, final thoughts. I think we've exhausted. It feels like I could talk about them even more because there was so many. Like James Maddison, when he came on, he didn't have his best performance, but came on and did a job that he needed to do. Well, especially again, he got injured by defending. But again, there's so many. Summing up, man, it's been a rough season. But we're ending 2021 with this just on this little bit of a high. But this is a great platform to build from, hopefully going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way
How many times we said that?
How hard can it be, or whatever the curse is
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the guys on Top Gear. But Yeah, I mean, to finish the season on a high, or the year, I should say, on a high like this is amazing. But they were just working for each other. I felt like, there was a real team ethic going on. Maybe guys, backs against the wall, chips on their shoulders. It's the kind of thing I feed off when I play. I mean, I can totally see that it was coming out of them. Like, they knew they could have gone down, and they united, and they fought back, and everybody was just on their game, working for the team, working for the fans. They were feeding off the crowd, I have to believe, because the chanting all game was incredible. The fans might be the unsung heroes here.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point to mention as well. Fans were fantastic, both for the unbelievable chants as well, and the Dewsbury Hall chant. But pretty much, I think like a quarter of the match we were just singing that. Austin, again, final thoughts before we round up, because I mean, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm wired already.
Yeah, I mean, everything was against us going into the match today, and I jokingly said in the group chat that if we won, we're going to get top 6. And I mean, but it's also like, I mean, wins like that just lift the team together, and just lift performances. I mean, we'll see if the game against Norwich go ahead. I know they have COVID issues, but hopefully it doesn't with the amount of injuries that we have. But just hopefully we can get our minds, like, take it. Obviously, you got to move on, but just the performance today and everyone, if we can build on these things, this last half of the season could be really, really fun.
It could be again. I think one person I forgot because I've just got carried away. Jamie Vardy's obviously one of them. We know he's getting another one. Kelechi Iheanacho. Alex, you have to give a mention to Iheanacho. He was great, and I'm with Dan. I was surprised when Brendan Rodgers took him off. I was going, really? We're playing so well. Why change it if it's not working? I think, but again, the fact that Lookman comes on replacements and the levels don't drop, they stay the same. But Kelechi Iheanacho, again, great performance.
Yeah, Nacho did great. I think he's been biding his time on the bench, and I think that's one of the most frustrating things for Nacho is that he's proven that he can do what he's done, but he's been just sitting on that bench waiting. So being able to come in and just do what he's done today is just fantastic. And part of me was slightly confused as to when they took him off, but at the same time, if you look at the amount of injuries we have and the amount of games we have, Vardy's been nursing it looks like a hamstring injury. Daka's out, so we're looking at Nacho being like, well, Nacho's technically our only fully fit striker, and he's leaving, isn't he, at the end of the month? Right?
Is he?
Is it?
Yeah.
He's off for AFCON.
AFCON, yeah. So he's gone.
Jesus Christ! I thought you were getting the transfer away. I was like, I was like, no.
So I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, well, you got to keep him healthy, because you lose him, and it's like, well, we got after the Norwich game, we don't have any technically healthy strikers. So let's hope that Jamie Vardy really is made of super
Red
glue
Bull
and
and ham,
Red Bull and piss and vinegar. So let's hope for the best here because, geez, but shout out to Nacho because he just played fabulous.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. I think. And before we leave, again, thank you for everybody for subscribing, all that other good stuff. And I'll leave you with this Matt Piper tweet, which I think sums it up perfectly as well. All the Leicester fans, big up tonight, fantastic, absolutely amazing performance from you lot, plus the fans, but also Jurgen couldn't even hear himself think because of the complaining. If you enjoyed the thing, make sure you like, subscribe, make sure you go follow all these Austin, Alex, and Danny in the description down below. We'll see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.